what's up? It's your girl, Chrystale Wilson, and we are here with Ray Cornelius on Upfront, celebrating the Players Club 20-year anniversary. Bam.
Well, welcome back to Upfront, Chrystale Wilson. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Ray. Thank you for having me. Hey.
You know I had to bring you back. This is a big year for you. 1998
Yes.
is when, not when, in our minds we think that's when it all started, but we're kind of doing some things a little bit before then. But yeah, we're talking to Chrystale Wilson, one of the lead characters in the cult classic film Players Club, 1998. Iconic film, yes. And you guys are celebrating a big anniversary this year. It's the 20th year for this film.
Like, I can't even believe it because it's people that I talk to, young men and young women who are like 22 and 23, and they're like, oh my God, that's my favorite movie. And I'm like, ooh, you were 2 when it came out. That feels so weird because I still feel, I just don't feel like 20 years have passed. Yeah. Honestly, I don't. Yeah.
So let's go back to that time. How did you find out about this film? Because this was really, I'd say, the first film of its kind that focused on the African-American female exotic dancer experience.
It is. It was very taboo at the time when the film was, getting written and coming out. And how I found out about it is, I really wanted to be a rapper.
Okay.
And I really wanted
What was your
to
name?
be a rapper.
What was your name?
I had a few.
Okay.
So I started out with Sha Fresh. So that tell you how long ago I started out. Anything that started with Sha, honey. Sha La Rock, and that was a while.
Right.
And it stood for sexy, heartbreaking, and fresh. Okay. Remember that. No, but then I changed it to Wicked. And just, who knows what else, Lady C, whatever. But I was fortunate enough to open up concerts for NWA when I lived in Northern California. So I did a few little concerts for them. And I was like, okay, when I moved back to Atlanta, I said, okay, I'm going to be a rapper. That's it. Like, I'm going to be Little Kim before Little Kim came along.
Right. And
Ice Cube was going to a listening party here in Atlanta that E40 was having. And so I was invited, and I was like, I'm going to find Ice Cube, remind him that he knows me from doing these shows with him and that I'm still pursuing a rap career now that he has this label. I want to be signed as a female rapper. So I go to the party, I bump into Ice Cube. He was looking, he's like, yo, you look so familiar. And I was like, yeah, I used to, rap and I did a couple shows for you guys. And this, he was like, yeah, you still rap? And I was like, yeah. He said, well, you know what? I'm doing a film about the strip clubs here in Atlanta. And so I'll be coming back and forth. So make sure I get your information before I leave. And we ended up just kind of the crowd and everything happening and just didn't cross paths again. And I was like, dog, there's my shot. So fast forward a few months later, I'm listening to the radio as I'm driving to my job. And they're like, yeah, Ice Cube's coming to town. And he's having these auditions at the Catfish station. And if you think you have what it takes to be the next Diamond, the next this, that. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is the movie that he was telling me about. So I went to work, and I remember telling them like, hey, Ice Cube is coming to town. He's having these auditions, and I really want to go and see if I can meet with him because I want to, talk to him about my music. So they were like, well, we're going to let you get the time off and go. So I go to the Catfish station. I have on a business suit because I was working at a law firm. It's because a lot of people say Ice Cube found me in the strip club. Not true. Makes for a good story. I have touched a toe in the strip club here and there, but he did not come get me from in there.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went to the Catfish station. The line was wrapped around the building, and I was like, okay, waited for hours, get in there, and they give me these sides for Diamond, and they say, okay, when you get your turn, you're going to go up there, you're going to read for Diamond. And I'm thinking, when I go up there, I'm going to see Ice Cube, and I'm just going to bust into a rhyme. Well, I get up there, and it's just like these 3 women sitting there. And it's Winsome Sinclair, who you probably know.
Yeah, we've had her on the show.
Yes. Kimberly Harding,
okay.
Who's cast many things, and then one of their assistants. And I'm like, well, where is Ice Cube? And so they're like, did they give you the size for Diamond? And I was like, yeah. They were like, well, we're so tired of seeing Diamond, so go back downstairs. Now, this is after waiting, honestly, for 4 hours. Get the size for Ronnie and come back and see us in 15 minutes. So I was like, okay. I go back downstairs, get these size, and it says, Ronnie, tall, 6 feet tall, brown skin, cornrows, muscular build. That was the character description.
Wow.
I said, they're trying to set me up for failure. But the example of this, when something's meant for you, it's meant for you. I went back up there 15 minutes later where everybody else had hours. And I just said, you know what? I'm just about to just kill it. I'm just going to kill the audition because really I just want to get to Ice Cube and rap. So I auditioned, but in the middle of my audition, I just busted out into a rhyme. And they were looking at me like, and I was like, either they're going to put me out because they think I'm totally insane.
Right.
Or they're gonna tell Ice Cube, sign this girl tomorrow. So I ended up getting called back, and they were like, do exactly what you did again. And then by the third time I auditioned, I felt comfortable enough asking them, like, where is Ice Cube? And so they were like, well, he won't be here at the auditions, but we'll definitely share the tape with him. And then he ended up calling me one day at work, and the receptionist was like, you know, Ice Cube is on the phone for you. And I was like, girl, whatever. You are playing. And so I get on the phone, I'm like, hello? He's like, yeah, this is Cube. And I was so nervous that I just hung up the phone.
Wow.
I was like, oh, my God. And so then he called back. He was like, hey, man, this is really Cube. And I was like, hi. He's like, you killed it. Like, you killed it on the audition. And I want you to come to L.A. and, you know, audition for the other producers. And so then that's how that went down. Yeah.
So how did you come up with this character? Because obviously what we saw on the screen was totally different from what they had on the sides. Because you're not exactly 6 feet tall. No. You're not a muscular build. You're not brown skinned.
And no cornrows.
Because Ronnie had the blonde thing going on. So how did she come to life?
You know, we collectively worked on coming up with the character because initially the producers felt that Lisa Ray and I looked too much alike. They were like, we know that she's doing a great job. We know that she's, you know, but the lead and her, they look too much alike. And we just don't think that it will work. And Cube really fought for me and was like, no, it absolutely will work. And I want her. And so we will sit down and we'll come up with something. And that's what we did. He was like, what do you think that will make this character? Because you live in Atlanta where this is happening. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? You're right. I know a lot of dancers, exotic dancers, and I was like, they have the long nails, they have the high heels, they have the you know, at the time, it was either the strawberry red, we call it fat girl red. I don't know if that's politically correct, but anyway, it's kind of like the Kool-Aid color, right? Or blonde. Yeah. And so we just talked about what the character would be to make her different and what her attitude would be. And I just came and I studied. I really went into strip clubs and watched, you know, the girls there, and they were kind enough to let me come in the locker room and sit with them and just kind of watch their interactions and just put pieces together. I remember there was this dancer, her name was Smokey. Oh, she was cold too. Oh my gosh. The first person I saw crawl up that pole and be on the ceiling, and I was like, oh my goodness, how does she do this? Yeah. Ronnie was not that limber. but she just, her attitude, I watched her a lot. You know, someone else that I watched is the singer Joy. Because Joy just has a very smooth attitude. And I was like, she's just like a madam. So I got a lot of that from her too.
Wow.
So yeah.
So this character, I mean, at the time, did you guys know that not just with Ronnie, but a lot of the characters in the film went on to just become these iconic characters? Did you know that you guys were working on a film that would still stand, 20 years later?
God, no. No, when I first got the cast, I was so nervous to tell my mom. I didn't even tell my mother that I was doing the movie. When I was in L.A., she thought I was going to work with Tony. I told her, I said, yeah, I'm going to assist Tony with their concert because Raphael Sadiq and I were great friends. And because I was scared to tell my mother that I was playing not only a stripper, but a lesbian stripper, because that was just so unheard of. And I didn't want people to judge the character, because I'm like, this is my opportunity to be, to do something and really think about it, to put Atlanta on the map. Because even though he had those auditions, I was the only person from Atlanta that was selected. And And so that was big. It was huge. It was a huge moment, and I didn't want anybody to ruin that for me, but I was so nervous. I remember being so nervous, and I was like, I just cannot mess this up. Like, I got to represent the dancers, honey, because I am from Atlanta. This is original, and this is supposed to be based on Atlanta. At the time, we had so many rules and things to do that it wasn't as film friendly as it is now, because he originally wanted to film it here in Atlanta, but they were like, nope, you're not gonna block that street off, you're not gonna do that. Now they don't care, they just tie up traffic and everything. But anyway, but so we end up doing it in LA, but really Players Club is supposed to be based in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had no idea.
So this character, as I was alluding to, it has followed you your entire career. So what have been the pros and cons of because we've been out and people are like, Ronnie, and it's like, no, this is Chrystale, so what are some of the pros and cons of having played this character?
The pros of it is, people will always remember me for a body of work that I did, because even now, 20 years later, it's still people that are emulating the character. It's a young lady, a comedian who dressed up like Ronnie, I think last Halloween or the Halloween before last, and went into Target and just millions of hits. Black China puts up like little memes of Ronnie. So it's still something that's so memorable to so many. So that's definitely a pro, to know that people value my work, and I did them a solid. You know what I'm saying? I kind of say, I'm that girl from Atlanta. That was at the time I was that light skinned girl with a booty from Atlanta. Yeah. Now everybody got big butt. but the cons of it is I was that girl, that light skinned girl with the big butt from Atlanta. That people thought that was all that I could play, and just trying to secure management and trying to secure, just getting my team together, a solid team to push me in the other directions, to get me on the levels of the Nia Longs and the Vivica Foxes and things like that. They weren't unsure. They didn't know, because they were like, well, she's from Atlanta, and is she a stripper for real? So it was that whole thing and it continues to be a con in a way, because the window of when it was like so popular and all of that is where I should have been building, like the strong publicist, the strong manager and all of that. I just, I didn't get that, so to speak. So I feel like, what is a guy, Kopernik, a winner without a damn team.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
So Chrystale, let's kind of switch gears here. What was one of the biggest lessons that you learned? Because this was your first major film project. So you're green, you're coming into this kind of new, you, like you said, you kind of dabbled into the entertainment industry, but you had never been in it this far.
Right, exactly.
So what was one of the biggest lessons that you learned as a first-time actress?
As a first-time actress, the lesson that I feel that I know even more so now is it's so important to have people that are at a certain level really rally for you. Because without that, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how cute you are, you will not really be successful without having a team or people that root for you. Yeah. Wow. And that's still true today. People that believe in you, which brings me to what I'm doing now with The Rich and the Ruthless, with Victoria Rowell. The fact that she is just a crusader for putting content out there, really pushing for you, got me submitted as a nominee for an Emmy on a reality series. And like, when I saw that, at first when she said it, I thought she was joking. And then she sent me the link and she was like, yeah, this is the Academy. And I'm like, huh? What? This is real, because she fights and she believes in what you're doing. That's so important. Yeah. Because without that, you're just a flash and bucket, So that's Rich and the Ruthless. Today is the Independent Awards ceremony today, and we're up for 8 nominations. So that's exciting for Rich and the Ruthless, which is on UMC channel. I'm doing another Christmas movie, honey. But TV, honey, from Marry Me for Christmas.
Right, that whole franchise.
That whole franchise with Rhonda Baraka, who's incredible, and the cast is just amazing. Just did another Christmas film.
Okay.
I'm just becoming just a little Christmas
yeah.
little honey.
Yeah.
I'm just what?
Bringing us a lot of cheer.
Just a cheer. But I just finished another Christmas movie that was directed by Terry J. Vaughn.
Okay.
And I'm just a new, bigger fan of her because she's just so dope as a woman. And so it's called Merry Wishmas, and that's going to be on TV1.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. Another Ayanla,
Okay.
where we discuss colorism.
And let's talk about that, because we were talking about that a little bit offline, but that is still a major issue in the African American community, not just here in the United States, but really around the world. This issue of the lighter is better. So, and I'm sure you've had some crazy experiences of dealing with that in Hollywood. So let's talk a little bit about that.
You know, it's ironic that we still struggle with this, and especially with the climate of things right now, that we're bickering amongst each other about who's better because of this color. Really, like, the one thing that I think that I'm not going to say good, but the only thing that I could say maybe the silver lining to the cloud of Trump being in office is because we have someone that is really forcing us to come together as a community, because we have a common antagonist in him. And so it's making us as a community, as Black people, come together and really bond together more, because that's stupid for us to say or think this person is better because they're lighter and this person is this because they're darker. My experience, because when I have my darker skinned people say to me, oh, well, your situation or things may have been easier for you because you're fair skinned. I'm going to tell you, my experience has been with being fair skinned, everything I get, people think that I slept my way to the top for it. And that could not be anything further from the truth. They think that it's easier for me, but I always have to prove that I'm smart, and I always have to prove that I'm worthy. I feel that my brown skinned sisters, they, when they are in certain positions, people say, oh, okay, she's intelligent. She earned her way here, this and that. And it's just almost kind of like a given. Or, brown skinned sisters, they're like, oh, okay, I don't mind taking you home to mama because you look like my mama, but I'm the side chick. You know what I'm saying? So the conversation needs to be had, because that's where all the healing starts. All the healing starts with the conversation. And so this episode with Ayanla is powerful.
And this involves you as well as some other notables for this particular episode.
So
Estelle.
Estelle. But Hazel E. It's about kind of addressing why she was let go from Love and Hip Hop because of some comments that she made on her social media. And so Ayanla wanted to have people take part in the conversation. I was surprised to get the call. I was like, oh my God, you're calling? Of course I'll come. What are we talking about? I don't even remember. Yeah. I'll be there. I still need to be healed. I have some areas. Yeah. But wow. It's great, a great conversation. And but it's sad. It's sad that it's something that we still deal with. Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give Chrystale Wilson 20 years ago? That looking at, if you could go back and say something to Chrystale Wilson 20 years
The
ago.
advice that I would give myself 20 years ago, and what I would give so many people just in life, is know what you want. Be honest with yourself and others about what it is you really want. Because I think that a lot of times people say they want certain things because it sounds good or it looks good or it's what they think people want to hear. And you do yourself a terrible, terrible disservice when you don't live in the path of what you really want, no matter how crazy it may sound. Yeah.
Favorite scene from the film? What was the scene that you enjoyed filming the most when you think about Players Club?
I'll be having out-of-body experiences most of the time, right? To tell you the truth, I'm going to be like, just get through this. Because here's a funny scene. Because the scene where with the cops.
Okay.
It was an entirely different scene that was rehearsed. It was choreographed by the fabulous Fatima, right? And it was this, when I say it was a whole big thing, like I was sliding underneath chairs and all of that. And something happened on the day to where they were like, yep, not going to have that room, not going to have that setup. And Q was like, you can do this, And I said, okay. He said, but you got to do it on this table. So it went from something that was choreographed around a whole entire room to being on a table. And my outfit wasn't finished because I was supposed to have this breakaway outfit. The cat suit was supposed to be pulled. You could pull it off. So they were trying to put this cat suit on me, and they're taping it on me, sewing it on me. They end up spraying those white lines on it so it wouldn't be so plain. So my body was completely like white and chalky underneath there. and then I'm on this table, and I'm like, what am I going to do on this table? And I fell off the table and took out about 2 of the extras the first time.
Wow.
It was very sad because I misjudged in my heel, and I was like, oh no, somebody's going down with me. So a couple of the extras got it.
Okay.
But we recovered. And then I got back on the table, and I was doing my little, y'all know the move. And I went all the way back, and then I just saw like wardrobe going like this, and I'm like, what happened? So they're like, cut. Well, yeah, the breakaway that wasn't ready to break away was breaking away. And they were getting the show for real.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm doubly embarrassed. I just don't know how I'm going to get through this scene. So the most memorable scene is that scene for those reasons. Now that is my favorite, but that's the most memorable because I just did not know at that time how I would pull it off or how it would be put together because I was so nervous and I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Oh, and then I went to go paddle the guy, and I go and I paddle him, and he was like, no, do it harder. Like you got to look like you are really going in. And I'm like, I don't want to hurt him, even though it's a paddle, it's movie magic made a certain way. So I'm like, okay. So I go and I'm like, wham, the paddle breaks, flies off, and goes and hits another person in the head. Like I took out like 3 extras that day. So a whole moment. So yeah, that's my most memorable scene from the movie.
Wow. Well, Chrystale Wilson, thank you so much for being a guest again on Upfront and taking us back down memory lane for this 20th anniversary of Players Club, and so much success to you. We look forward to the films that you have coming out, as well as the episode on Ayanla Fix My Life. So much success to you.
Ray, I love you. I said you'll always get the exclusive, boo. When I make it big. Thank you for having me.
All right.
You are now watching CAU-TV.